Paul, lay it out for us.
Well, you're not allowed to discriminate against somebody because of their religion. That's Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. However, an employer is allowed to set religiously neutral policies, such as everyone who works here, say, has to wear shoes. And in between those two poles is the tension. Here we have a job applicant who's Muslim, wears a hijab. She showed up for her job interview with the headscarf on, and Abercrombie & Fitch admits that they understood that she was wearing the headscarf because of her religious practice. They turned her down, saying, you don't fit with our look. And now the question is, did she have to say the words? Did she have to say to the Abercrombie & Fitch personnel people, I wear this because I'm a Muslim?
Why would she have to say that if they knew it already?
Well, that's what the EEOC...
They definitely know it. They're admitting that they knew it.
That's correct. And they are still saying that unless you put the burden on the job applicant, you will have too many cases where the employer is guessing about the situation, and that's not a fair burden to put on employers.
Okay, but because Abercrombie knew why she was wearing the headscarf,
right,
the burden is on them?
No.
Is not on them?
No.
I'm so lost.
The lower court said that because the job applicant failed to say to the job interviewer, I'm wearing the hijab because I'm Muslim, because of that, she loses, and the employer wins. And that is what the employer and the Chamber of Commerce and all the big businesses want to preserve.
Okay, what was your takeaway? I mean, could one make the argument Abercrombie & Fitch can say, we have a dress code, we have a look, this is how we sell product? Well,
in fact, there's not really any dispute about that. You're allowed to have a dress code. I mean, we're wearing certain clothes. We couldn't come in here and wear, T-shirts and expect Bloomberg to continue to employ us.
That's not true. Just moments ago, they told me my messy hair was getting them down. So, they have an issue with it.
Well, you have a point.
But if you said that you had to wear your hair in a certain way because you were a Buddhist, then you'd have an argument, and Bloomberg would have to consider whether they could accommodate your religious practice with its religiously neutral policy. The shame here is that the point of this law is not to create conflict. It's actually supposed to set up a situation where people accommodate one another, and we'll see whether the Supreme Court comes up with some type of pronouncement that encourages people to accommodate each other as opposed to fighting in court.
But what if you're hiring for, say, a runway model job, and you want someone, I mean, obviously you hire a model because that person is attractive and fits a certain look, and you're actually picking for a specific look. So if I don't need a Rasta with giant unwashed dreads, why should I have to hire that person?
Well, you wouldn't necessarily be obliged to. If you made an argument that we only want to hire, first of all, women rather than men, or only people who wear their hair in a certain way, and we do that across the board. We're not discriminating against people based on their religious practice. You, as an employer, might win that case.
What if I told Victoria's Secret I want to be in their runway show, but as a religious practice, I overeat and I'm a little chubby?
Right. Well, I think you'd probably have difficulty sustaining that claim. But if you said, for example, that you wanted to join that company, but you were kosher because you were Jewish, or you kept the Islamic version of kosher, which is quite similar, and they said, we refuse to accommodate that, and on the food table you have to eat a bacon cheeseburger, they probably wouldn't get away with that.
Unless you were doing an ad for a bacon cheeseburger. What if you were at Wendy's and you...
And that's Listen, if they wanted to hire you, then they could give you,
No, but that would be the case. A Muslim couldn't argue that a company that sells bacon didn't hire me because I refused to eat it. That wouldn't work. The company would win.
All right, are you ready for something I'm going to admit? Abercrombie & Fitch, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Cologne, right? Cologne, I happen to think it's fantastic. I've been places
where
I'm like...
How would you even know?
Because I've been places and I'm like, what is that? And then it gets told to me, and then I'm like, what?
So you hang around people who wear Abercrombie & Fitch cologne.
Is that, I mean,
that's really
Does
crazy.
it smell preppy?
No, it just smells really good.
Yes, it's an East Coast collegiate cologne,
it smells
apparently.
Really good.
But in fact, it only sells to, young foreigners.
Who wear no shirt.